Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And yes, if you've been following our Wordle, well, it turns out we thought we had found a way of controlling the thumbnails and we haven't. Although on our screen, it looks like we have prevented any spoilers. On some media, there are spoilers on some people's phones, on other people's iPads. It's incredibly hard to control. So we are finally going to bow to the pressure. Take a day's break from ordinary Wordle at least, and show our Wordles the day after they're done. So you will have that relief if you've been getting frustrated by spoilers appearing on your feeds. Sorry about that. Now, I hope on the other technical matter that I have spent, hours on today, I hope you are not seeing as blurry a screen for the puzzle as has been the case over the last 3 or 4 days. Now, this happened at some point through the various systems I'm using to record the puzzle after I started doing Wordle shorts, and hopefully we are restored. But do let me know in the comments, and do be nice if I haven't got it right yet, because it is hard, honestly. You've no idea. It takes ages. Neither Simon nor I are the most technical of people, and if you try and get help, it's very hard to interpret the help sometimes anyway. We think we've got it done now. So hopefully you are seeing a clear view of this puzzle, which will only emphasize to you how astonishing this grid is. I don't know if you know the normal rules for quadruple Sudoku, and well, you won't know what the numbers outside the grid are because that's a new rule, but believe me, the grid is astonishing. We'll do the rules in a minute. We have some more approachable Sudoku coming up. For Patreons, tomorrow is the day we release at 4 p.m. UK time, the new Guess Again is the name of the monthly reward. We sincerely believe a lot of you will be able to enter this competition. There'll be 3 Sudoku puzzles to solve and then an answer to find. And honestly, we think it's fun, but you'll be the real judge. So we'll hear what people say. Last month we got 1,700 entries from our 7,000 odd patrons. It would be fantastic to better that. Do join us on Patreon if you haven't already. It is well worth it. There's a lot of other content. Simon did a couple of Fistamafel videos this month, as well as some non-Sudoku material. There's my insanely hard crossword every month at least. I will be putting up another puzzle video next month, which is already in the can, but I can't bring it out for some reason. So anyway, loads on Patreon. Do check it out. Also, we do check out the Discord server. Fantastic help you can get from people there as well. And I mean, I really mean that. Also, there's our apps, there's merchandise, all on the links under the video. But the first link will be to this puzzle by Marvin Kannhauser, who's been sending us puzzles for a couple of years, and they are all very good. They've been getting steadily, and I'm literally, I think this is a curve. They've been getting steadily both more brilliant and more vicious. And I suspect that trend will continue when I tell you the rules here. So the numbers outside the grid are numbers that indicate that number appears in the first 4 cells of that row or column from that direction. So 6 must be somewhere in the first 4 cells of that column. Now, you might think that's not very limiting. I certainly do. These numbers in circles are quadruple clues. There must be at least 1 3 around that 3 in a circle, and at least 1 2 in those 4 cells. At least 1 3 in those 4, at least 1 2 in those. And so far we've been told almost nothing about the puzzle, is my view. But there are 2 more rules, and they're quite important, I suspect. Identical digits cannot be a knight's move apart. So we have the knight's move rule. If we had a 5 here, we could not have a 5 in any of these cells, because that's a chess knight's move away from the central cell. And consecutive digits cannot be neighbours, orthogonal neighbours. So you can't have a 1 and a 2 in those 2 cells, or a 6 and a 7. And at first, those rules don't sound very constraining, but we know from the Miracle Sudoku and others like it, and our Miracle app, if you look at that, all the puzzles in that have this non-consecutive rule at least, and some of them work with other rules like knight's move rules or king's move rules or others. But it is constraining. However, as constraining as it is, this grid looks astonishing. How can you even begin? Well, let's hope we'll find out. Do give it a try on the link under the video. You'll be able to judge from the video length how hard it is, perhaps. Although sometimes length is down to me not being very clever, which does occur more often than I'd like. But give it a try, see how you do, and I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. Yeah, and okay, I do see that we get quite a few 2s mentioned. And this 2 up here means that there's a 2 in one of those cells. So that is slightly interesting, because that means there isn't a 2 in one of these 2. If you've got a definite 2 in one of those, let's just colour them, then there can't be a 2 in these cells. And that means the 2 in this clue is in one of those 2. So we've learnt something straight away. Not much, but something. Now there is a 2 in the first 4 cells here, and it can't be here. So it's definitely in one of these 3. It can't be there because there is a 2 up there. Those 3 cells, now this is one of these knight's move things. They all see that cell. Yeah, this is getting quite interesting quite quickly. Okay, this is brilliant. Right. Those 3 cells all see that cell. What do I mean they all see it? Well, that one, if that was a 2, there couldn't be a 2 here for ordinary Sudoku rules. If either of those 2 was a 2, there couldn't be a 2 there because of the knight's move rule. So there can't be a 2 there. There can't be a 2 here because we know that one of these is a 2 for this quadruple clue. And look, there can't be a 2 here because of this clue. There's a 2 in one of those cells. So none of those green cells can be a 2. And how are we going to fulfill this 2 over here? We've got to put our first number in the grid there, and we are away. And not only does that get us one number, that 2 sees this cell obviously by Sudoku, and that one by knight's move. So now we know where this 2 is. And now we've placed 2 digits in the grid. We've fulfilled this clue, and this clue around the 2 here. I mean, that is extraordinary how quickly that happens. But I don't know how we carry that forward. Now, okay, yes I do. Oh yes, I really do. Okay, 2 there and 2 there. There must be a 2 in column 2 somewhere in these 3 cells. Now, it can't be there because there's a 2 there and the knight's move rule applies. So we get a 2 in one of these 2, and this is one of the beauties of the knight's move patterns. That immediately rules a 2 out of those 2 cells, because if there was a 2 there, it could see that one by ordinary Sudoku and that one by knight's move, and a 2 there the same with those 2. So now there isn't a 2 there, but remember there's this 2 clue at the top of the grid, so there's got to be a 2 in one of these 2 cells, and there's a 2 clue over here. So there's a 2 in one of these cells. Sorry, I've said 2 and 2 clues so much it's sounding like it's meaningless to me now, but that's just what happens. Anyway, because there is a 2 in one of those, there isn't one there in that row, and now we've placed another one. Now it doesn't clear up which of those is which, but that one sees this cell by knight's move, so now this 2 is fulfilled by one of them in those cells. This sees all of those, and these 3 see that, so there's a 2 somewhere in box 2. Gosh, the number 2 keeps on cropping up in what I'm having to say. Somewhere there. There's one of them down here as well. I'm trying to avoid saying it now because it sounds ridiculous. None of these can be a 2, so there's one here somewhere. Now those 3 all see this cell, and those are all ruled out. Okay, I'm going to colour the cells in this box that can't be 2. So those 3 all see that one. Those are ruled out by that. These 3 all see, where is it? This cell, because that one gets it by knight's move. So that's not either. And And now I've forgotten all about the non-consecutive constraint. What's that doing for us now? Oh, it's doing something. Okay, so sorry, what I'll do is I'll get rid of the green colouring. I'll put possible 2s in those cells. Every box I've either got 2 placed in it or pencil marked in. And pencil marks can be very powerful in this sort of puzzle, so I'm not feeling any guilt about that, I can assure you. Now, yes, we can't have a 1 in one of those. Oh no, that's not true. I was going to say we couldn't have a 1 in one of those 2 cells because it would be consecutive with a 2, but actually that's the group of 2s. We can't have a 1 here because it would either have a 2 as a neighbour on one side or another. So 1 is now in one of those 3, and I'll have to work out what these pencil marks mean as I go along. So that's not a 1. So this 1 here now has to be in one of those 3. But 1 can't be consecutive with 2 here, so we can't use that cell for either of them, and they must be a pair in these 2. They have to be separated by some chaperone number here that won't be 3. Now, do they all see anyway? I don't think they do. However, there is a 1 there now. Right, where can 1 go? In this box. Not in those cells because of that 1-2 pair. Not in those or that because they'd all be consecutive with a 2. So now 1's in one of those 2. And now 1 in the middle box can't be there because of that pair. So I'm going to green those out. Don't know why I'm using green for no-go areas, but I am. Can't be there because of those 2 positions in box 4. They both see that. 1 by Knight's move, 1 ordinary. Can't be there because there's a 2 in it. Can't be here because the 1 clue up here says it's in the first 4 cells. Now, can either of those... No, this one can't be a 1. Again, those 2 cells both see it. 1 by Knight's move. So the 1 in the central box is in one of those 2 positions. And I don't know which is a shame. Because I don't think I've got access to many other boxes for 1 positions. Okay, so that sort of peters out a bit there. Keep looking at this and wondering whether the 3 around it tells me anything. I honestly don't think it does at the moment. Maybe if I had a bit more information, I could see what that's doing. Right, there's a 3 in one of those cells that can't be next to a 2. What good is that? Okay, I don't know, but there are some 3 clues around. Do I try and do more with 1s now, or do I move to threes? I'm going to move to 3s just in case that gives me any extra information. Because, okay, what I can do is decide various places where 3 can't be, I think. So obviously it can't be in any of these cells which have either 1 or 2 in. It's in one of those 4, so it can't be in any of these. That's straightforward. Now it also can't be in any plus shape around a 2 because it would be touching the 2. So they're all ruled out and they're all ruled out. 3 also can't be here in between a 1-2 pair because it would have to touch 2. I'm just wondering about the 3 around here. They don't all see the same cell anywhere, so that's maybe not as helpful as I was hoping it was going to be. No, I'm probably missing something with 1s first of all. That's tricky. What am I meant to be thinking about 1s? Maybe I colour the same in the same style, so I can keep the things around the 2s, Oh, yes, hang on. Okay, so I'm going to change the colouring to where ones can't be. Ah, yes, okay, that's quite interesting. So let's get rid of the green there. Right, 1 can't be in these cells because there's a 1-2 pair there. That 1-2 pair also rules out these cells. And this 1 clue rules out all of those. Yes, okay, that's how we got to the 1 and 1 there and the 1 and 1 there, effectively. But this might give us a bit more. Right, that also we worked out wasn't a 1 because it would be next to a 2. These 3 all see that cell, so that's not a 1. Now these 2, they see all of those 3 cells. Whichever place the 1 is in box 6 is going to rule a 1 out of any of those 3. The 1 is definitely going to be in the opposite side to the 2 there because of these, unless it's in the middle. Yes, okay, I don't know that. Is there anywhere else I can rule 1 out of? Yes, actually these 2, no, that cell can't be a 1 because all those 3 cells see it. That one by knight's move and the other 2 because it's in the box. I'm missing something here. Where else can there not be a 1? There could be 1 there if that was a 1. Oh, this can't be a 1 because of these 2 in box 5. They both see that cell, so we can take 1 out of there. There's either a 1 there or there. Now, what do they both see? They both see this cell. Anything else? Oh no, everything else they both see is green already. I think. Now, these 2 both see that 1. And they both see that 1. So there are cells getting ruled out here. Just need to do a little more and then we'll have some really interesting confluence. So there's got to be a 1 in one of those 2. So if there, what does that mean for me? How could that be a 1? Then there'd be a 1 there and there and there. Oh, look, those 2 both see that cell. Oh, that's brilliant. The 2 available in box 5 both see that. So that clears up the confusion. That's a 2. That's a 1. This is not 2 now. These 2 aren't 2. There's definitely a 2 in one of those. Ah, this one isn't a 2 by knight's move. So one of those is, so that's not. So we get a 2 here. Oh, come on, let's keep rocking this. Oh no, I can see that that's going to help with 3s in a moment. In fact, I will pencil mark a 3 in one of those 2 because it can't be there next to that one. Ah, this can't be 2. So that's 2. Oh yeah, now this can't be 2. So there's 1 up there. We'll get a little X-wing. That stops that being a 2. And we've got them all placed apart from this little X-wing. That does sometimes happen in these knights moves. You get 1 little X-wing left. I think in the original Miracle Sudoku, there were X-wings possibly in those exact positions. Check it out. But anyway, now there can't be a 1 next to any of these 2s. So let's get greening again. Look, we get loads of cells. Right, now what's that? Oh, also, we've got this 1 that we've got. So now there's a 1 in one of those 2. That rules out all of these from being a 1. Now there's a 1 in one of those 2. And that stops this being a 1. Oh, crumbs, this is just nuts. So that could be a 1. Come on, think it through. Can we not sort this out now? Where are the remaining 1s? I don't know. Oh, there can't be 1 here because it would definitely be next to a 2 in one of those cells. That's not shaping to help very much, but still, 'tis a fact. Am I missing something up here? Where do these all converge in some way? If that was a 2, then that would force these to be the 1s, which doesn't actually have a lot of instant impact. Ah, don't say I've stalled. Right, I think I might go back to looking at 3s now. So I'm just gonna, did you know Control A highlights the whole grid and then you can just take all the colors out? There we go. So now I'm going to think about 3s again. Now might be a better time. And I'm gonna highlight all the 2s that we've got and the cells orthogonal to them. So none of these can be 3s. Now, we know there's got to be one around, oh look, we know there's a 3 here from this clue, so those aren't. Yeah, this is lovely. Look, there's got to be a 3 in one of those cells, and that 3 and that 3, they're going to use up both 3s for columns 6 and 7. This is definitely on the solution path. That's really clever. So none of the other cells in column 6 and 7, apart from those, can contain a 3. So there we go. Those can't. So that's enough. We don't need the red, really. Now that must give us, oh, I tell you what, these two, they see a pair of cells in every direction. They both see that cell, they both see that cell, they both see that cell, and they both see that cell, which is gorgeous. We can eliminate 3 from all of those. Just before I make that 3, I'm going to check if these all see anything specific. I don't think they do, weirdly. Sometimes a pattern like that does see 3s in various places, but I can't see that it does today. But anyway, the only place we've got left for 3 in box 9, thanks to the colouring, is there. So that's not a 3 and is green. That's fulfilled the 3 clue. This now is not a 3 and is green. So there's definitely a 3 in one of those 2 cells. Now they do see a couple of cells. They see that cell and that cell, which can't be 3s. Come on, 3s. Keep it going. What else? I'm not sure. Oh yes, look, 8 green cells in box 8. So we know where 3 is in box 8. Now look at that. That gives us the 3 in box 7 as well. That can't be a 3 anymore. In fact, all of those in column 1 and 4. So now there's a 3 in one of those 2 and not there. One of these is a 3. I'm going to put the pencil marks in. I am not ashamed of that. 3 in one of these 2 cells. It's an odd pattern that probably doesn't see anything. Definitely a 3 in one of those 2. Ah, can I not finish off 3? Oh, look, it deals with 2s down here because that's next to a position for a 2. Oh, brilliant. So we get 2s up there. This can't be a 2. This obviously now is not a 3 because it's a 2. Now the only place for 3 in row 2. Oh, the colouring's really helpful, by the way. I didn't expect it to be quite this good. Those all go green. And now we know where 3 is in box 6. As a result, that sees this by knight's move. So green there. And now we can do 3s in all sorts of places. Let's do them all. There they go. That's all the 3s in the grid. And if I was finishing off the colouring for some reason, those would become green. So all the 3s done. Now we can finish the 1s because we got a 3 into one of the cells where a 1 goes. I think we can finish them anyway. That deals with the 1 on the clue. That's a 1 now. That's a 1. This one isn't anything that we've had pencil marked. Ah. Oh, maybe that's not 3. Maybe we're going to run out 1 in one of those 2. Can't be there because knight's move and it's next to a 2. 1 in one of those 2 to avoid being next to a 2. These can't be 1s. Ah, those can't be 1s because they're next to 2s. So there is a 1 in one of those. That's not a 1. It gives us this one. but we haven't disambiguated the ones in rows 7, 8 and 9, surprisingly. So I'll probably just leave the pencil marks in. Let's take out the colouring again and think about 4s. And I'm frankly just going to do the same job again on, no, hang on, let's plus mark the 3s. We don't have any other 4 clues in the puzzle, but I don't think we're going to, in fact, all we have is a couple of 6s, which suggest we're going to need help when we get to 6s. Right, that's all the 3s. Let's also highlight the 1s and the 2s. Now, these are the remaining white cells where 4s can go. What are they telling us? Right, that pair is telling us that that's not a 4. That pair is telling us that both of those aren't 4s by the knight's move and ordinary Sudoku. One of those is a 4, so that's not. So we get a 4 here, and that's going to finish our 1s. 1, 1, 1. Perfect. Right, now, these can't be 4s. They can go green. One of those is a 4, so those aren't, and we get another 1. That stops that being a 4. That can't be a 4 anymore, so that is. That stops that being a 4. Oh, hang on. This was all founded on, I thought there had to be a 4 in one of those two. Right, let's go back to there. Sorry, I may have slipped up there. No, I ruled those out. Okay, so I then said, because there's a 4 in one of those, which I was not entitled to know that there wasn't a 4 there. So let's calm down a bit about the 1s and everything. So there's a 4 in one of those two, and therefore not here. So there's a 4 in one of those two, and therefore not here. That's still all right. So there must be a 4 here, and that does sort out the 1s in the same way, actually, I think. Not sure. But anyway, the 1s are done. Now, what about these 4s? Yes, that goes green. Now, I don't know here or here, so let's get the logic right. Now, where else can I use the knowledge that I've got? 4 in one of those two. No, one of those two. Can't see them all looking in the same place. So maybe I get a bit stuck on 4s. I only got 1 in the grid, which is annoying. Oh, hang on. There's only 1 4 in row 3, and it's got to be in one of those 2 places. So they both see that one. That's lovely. So we get a 4 there. That goes green. In box 2, it now has to be there. Bounces back on the thing that gave us the in there. Yes, you have to check rows and columns as well. But I can't see any other rows and columns all leading to the same place. So again, maybe get a little stuck, which is tricky, but okay, this one's in quite a good position to tell us something about 5s. So, oh, that's green. Ah, yes, that's green now because of that 4. So one of those is definitely a 4. Okay, I'm going to pencil mark these. That's now green, and that's a definite 4. So is that. I think that's going to stop there, but I'm going to pencil mark the other white cells where 4s can go. And then I'm going to try and do some colouring on 5s next. So again, we do these little plus shapes around the 4, which I think is going to be helpful in box 8. Looks like it ought to be anyway. So those places all can't have 5s by virtue of being on 4 cells or next to them. Let's also highlight 1s, 2s and 3s and colour them. Thank you, Sven, for the tools to do this so easily. Now, 5 can't be in one of those 2 cells because it would definitely be next to 4, and the same's true there. So they're all ruled out. Now, where can 5 be now? Okay, in row 9, 5 has to be in one of these 2 cells. So does 6, according to the clue, actually. But we're thinking about 5s at the moment, so it can't be anywhere else in that box. Now in row 8, it's got to be in one of those 2, so not there in box 7. It's in one of those two in row 7. I'm looking for somewhere that they two possibilities C, and I'm not finding it. I've got this 6 clue as well. Am I meant to be using that now? Okay, well I can. No. I mean, it tells me that can't be a 5, but I already knew that because it's next to 4. No, this is tricky. I thought we'd go through one number at a time, but Marvin's a bit cleverer than that. Sixes could be. Oh, look. Oh, good grief. This is mad. It's this T pattern here. We know where 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 are here. Now, if we were to put 4 there, think about 7, 8, 9 in that group of cells. Just wouldn't work, because 8 would definitely be next to either 7 or 9. So we've suddenly got to be thinking holistically about the whole group of Sudoku digits, which is amazing. That must be 4 to separate out 7, 8, 9. That's mad. So that's not a 4. That's a 4. That's a 4. And that's a 4. Oh, 4. And suddenly all our 4s are finished. We've done 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, I was colouring for 5s, so I can go green there. Ooh, I can go green all around this one and that one. And now, what do I learn about 5s? In one of those two cells. Therefore, not there. Then I've got it placed in box 2, box 1, box 5 next, I think. That's got to be a 5. Also, row 5. That's a 5. So clever. It's such a brilliant puzzle. Oh, look, Knight's Move. Oh, it sees both of those by Knight's Move. So that's not 5. Let's just do the one there before we get to the 5, 6 pair. Very close to finishing off 5s. In fact, I'm going to do it in a moment because that 5 is seeing this. 6 there, 5 there. That places our last 5 in the grid. And we can clear out the colouring again and look at 6s now. Yeah, we've got all the 5s in. I mean, I'm not ashamed to do it. I'm sorry. It may look like a mechanical or a repetitive way of doing the puzzle, but I still find it an absolutely fascinating construction. I really do. So I'm highlighting all the 5s and their plus shapes. 6 can't be in any of those cells. Obviously, it also can't be in anything labelled 1, 2, 3 or 4. So they're all green. Right, and we've got a 6 here. So that is seeing these cells. We've also got this clue, which just tells us there's depth, which we know already now that there's a 6 in one of those two cells. I don't know if that makes it a redundant clue. I doubt it. Now, there's a 6 in one of those. Oh, the only 6 possible in box 5 is apparently here. Everything else touches a 5. Right, that's great. That's going to get us a 6 here and here and here. Come on, not there or there. Obviously not in those two. Oh yes, I see the 6s in the bottom 3 rows. Those 2 have become 6s. And that's all the 6s placed. Oh, now we are cycling through the grid, doing all the colours. So, doing all the numbers. So 7's next. Now, I'm just going to highlight the 6s, frankly. Let's do a different colour. And spaces next to those can't be 7's. So 7's in one of these two, and one of those two, and therefore one of these two. Let's just pencil mark them in a more normal fashion, maybe. Then 7 is in one of these, one of those. Just trying to see if any of these. I think all of those are possible. All of these. Ah, Look, box 2 can't be there or there because of the 6s next to them. So we get a 7. That's going to fix the 7 in box 5, box 8, box 7. I love how this cycles around the grid. That 7 sees both of those cells, so that deals with 7 in box 1, 7 there. That's a 7. That's the last, no, not the last 7. We've got the 1 here, which can't be in either of those cells. So we get it here. And now we've just got 8s and 9s to do. Let's get rid of the colouring again. We probably don't need any more colouring. We just need to find one place where 7 touches a white cell. That'll do. That's got to be 9. So now I must be able to knit round the grid doing all the 9s. Look at that. Fantastic. And everything else left must be an 8 and finish the puzzle. And that is a work of genius. I mean, my hat is off to Marvin. I know that miracle Sudoku sometimes have this sort of property, but it is beautiful when you see it in effect, when you get the chance to actually work through it. That is a fantastic puzzle. I hope you had a go at that and found it in the same sort of way as I did. Whether you were quicker or slower, if you found that path through it, you will have enjoyed that. It's just a work of logical magic to me. Thank you so much, as always, for watching the channel. We are very grateful and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for more Sudoku. And as it is, bye for now.